Hello, friends. As we move through the final chapter of the Renaissance, imagine a grand stage where the lights begin to dim. The elegant dances slow, the gentle music fades, and the once vibrant atmosphere starts to quiet. The Renaissance, a time of rediscovery, brilliance, and human achievement, was nearing its end. But how did such a glorious era conclude? Why did the light of this golden age begin to fade? Let's explore. The Renaissance thrived on ideas of harmony, balance, and the revival of classical knowledge. It celebrated human potential, art, science, and the beauty of reason. Yet the world was changing rapidly, and the idealism that had fueled the Renaissance began to confront harsh realities. By the late 16th century, Europe was facing deep political unrest. The ambitious dreams of Renaissance rulers led to wars, particularly the Italian Wars, which dragged on for decades, draining resources and destabilizing regions. These wars weren't just battles for territory. They shattered the peace of Italian city-states like Florence, Venice, and Milan, cities that had been the heart of Renaissance creativity. As foreign powers like Spain and France swept through Italy, many of the vibrant cultural centers fell into decline. Artists, writers, and scholars who once found patronage in these cities now faced uncertainty. The flourishing of ideas slowed under the weight of conflict. Religious turmoil also cast a long shadow. The Protestant Reformation, sparked by Martin Luther, had shaken the very foundation of Europe's religious unity. The Catholic Church, which had been a significant patron of Renaissance art and learning, now turned much of its energy toward countering this challenge. The Counter-Reformation sought to reaffirm the Church's power, shifting focus from human-centered inquiry to religious conformity. In this environment, the free spirit of questioning and exploration that defined the Renaissance faced growing restrictions. Moreover, the Renaissance had always been driven by a select group of elites, rulers, wealthy merchants, and the educated class. But as economic hardships spread due to wars and shifting trade routes, the gap between the rich and the poor widened. Patronage declined, and with fewer commissions for art and scholarship, the cultural momentum slowed. The grand projects and masterpieces that symbolized Renaissance confidence became rarer. Science, too, was at a turning point. The bold ideas of thinkers like Copernicus, who challenged the Earth-centered universe, were met with resistance. The Renaissance had opened the door to new ways of understanding the world, but these ideas were still fragile. Institutions weren't ready to embrace them fully. The seeds of scientific revolution had been planted, but they would take time and struggle to grow. Yet, perhaps the most subtle reason for the Renaissance's end was that its mission had been, in many ways, accomplished. The Renaissance was about rediscovery of classical texts, philosophies, and artistic techniques. But by the late 16th century, these ideas were no longer new. The excitement of rediscovery faded, and Europe began looking ahead, searching for new frontiers rather than looking back to the ancient world. The Renaissance didn't vanish overnight. It faded slowly, its influence lingering in art, thought, and science. It left behind a transformed Europe, one that thought differently about humanity's place in the world. But this transformation also meant that the Renaissance, as a period of revival, had served its purpose. The stage was being cleared for new movements, new questions, and new challenges. And just as one era's music faded, a new, more dramatic performance was preparing behind the curtains, rich, emotional, and grand in its own way. But that's a story for another journey. As we close this chapter, imagine the grand stage once more, quiet but not empty. The Renaissance had lit the way, showing Europe the power of knowledge, beauty, and discovery. Its legacy remained, ready for future generations to build upon. But friends, don't think our journey ends here. While the Renaissance may have stepped back, it left behind a foundation that would shape the modern world. In our next episode, we'll explore how this legacy inspired new ideas in science and philosophy, paving the way for the modern age. So stay curious, keep wondering, and remember, the fading of one light often makes room for another to shine even brighter.